Welcome back to TDM, the Dystopian Man. Please like and subscribe and like. You can get your ledger, link in the description. You can also donate to the channel using Bitcoin, Cardano, and Ethereum to the wallets in the description. So today, we're on the Financial Coffee channel, right? Go over, like, and subscribe to his channel. And the video is called Living in Tents in the Woods, Homeless and Outside in the Cold, Women's New Sad Reality, right? Now, the reason why I'm doing these reaction videos is because the majority of these situations, I have to be honest, and I'm not being horrible when I say this, is self-inflicted. And on this channel, not only are we going to look at how we can invest to start making more money, but we're going to look how we can keep that money and also keep ourselves out of ending up in these sorts of situations. Because it's just as important. Earning money, people that seem to realize keeping money and using it wisely is just as important as being able to earn it. Right, so let's get straight into it.
Is coming, so how do I keep myself warm during the winter?
So a lot of people want to know how I shower while living full-time in a bell tent. Well, since my tent does not have a bathroom and since my town is far too small to have any kind of gym or public showers, not that I'd be interested in using those anyways.
Why would you not be interested in using a gym or public shower? It's this mentality, it's the logic. Like, people wonder how I shower when I live in a bell tent. Yeah, I would kind of be expecting you would go and use public showering. But to be fair, on the flip side of what she's saying, it's free. It's free, so you're saving money.
I just shower outside. So I just use this rechargeable water pump and fill a 5-gallon bucket with water that I previously heated on our wood stove. I did have an extra pot of water outside on this particular day because I washed my hair and I always need a little extra water for that. It was also 35 degrees outside, which sounds cold, but the sun was out and there was no wind, and that does make a big difference.
You
And when you
naked.
have hot water running down your body, you really don't feel the cold.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so, I mean, I would not suggest anybody do this. You can see this person is already adapt, sorry, to making bad decisions. You're in the middle of a forest, right? Because if you got a bell tent, right, you could have, like, you could make a little extension on your tent, like a shower room or something. Walking out in the middle of the forest in the middle of the day to have a made up shower, right, is dangerous, let alone one. And this is, I'm sorry, I'm going to go off subject a little bit here, but this is why I don't agree with this foolishness, right? Stuff like this about, would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear? Well, this is why I would rather be in the woods with a bear, because I would just be walking back and I could just be walking through the woods and get a false accusation when you got naked women showering, right? And it just goes to show the mentality of said people that are in this situation. It's really sad.
At all anyways, and I'm also always in good company while showering outside. So there you go, that is how I shower while living outside.
That's ridiculous. And the thing is, you're smiling like it's a good thing, like it's a positive thing. That is how I shower while I'm basically, people say living outside. Let's call it what it is. That is why I shower while I'm homeless. While I'm homeless. The only difference is that you're not literally begging. But technically, you kind of are, because you come online making these videos, try and boost yourself up. Like me, I would never give anybody like this money, because it starts at home. If you've got yourself in such a financial mess with your own money, why are you going to treat my money with enough respect to help you get out of your own situation? It's a problem. It is a problem. Right. Very honest, not trying to be disrespectful. When I see people of this size talk about how they're going homeless or they're living in a tent, I have to be very honest. You don't seem to have a problem buying food, right? So, and everybody's talking about how food's so expensive. But if you're overindulging in something that's overly expensive, you know, self-control when it comes to finances is incredibly, incredibly important. Incredibly important. And this woman definitely has some form of lack of self-control, and it's probably why she's going to end up in the position she's in.
You're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away.
You see, you're spending more time cleaning the inside of a tent than actually trying to figure out a way to get out of it.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
I mean, let's have a look, right? You can even see, right?
Watch your
Look at that. This woman is unorganized. Life is in disarray. Whole life is in array. So if she lives like this, right? Look at the mess. What do you think her finances are going to be like? Do you think her finances are all in order? I don't think they are. I think they're probably going to be a mess like that. Not being horrible, not being disrespectful, but we have to be honest on this channel to help people start getting places, because I'm tired of people saying they're broke. I'm tired of seeing people in this situation when it's all self-inflicted, and it's sad.
blue eyes fade to
The
gray.
sad music in the background. Why?
Fade away.
Well done. You put things in a drawer.
As you fade away. I know.
All done 3 days. That's not impressive. So what? All done is in. It took you 3 days to clean up, or 3 days to set up a tent. So strong, so independent. Right? It's not like. I don't understand these videos on TikTok. It's like they're trying to make it like, hey, I'm not homeless. This is the way we want to live. Like, no, you don't.
You told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you
So many
never
people living in
said
their
you
cars in the
felt
woods at the
that way.
moment. It's crazy.
Guess you're trying to stay strong.
And the worst thing about it is the mess that these people are making. I was seeing a video from a guy called Scar in the Woods, and he showed us his old tent, his old living place, right, which he made and put it in the woods. The mess this guy made in the woods, it is absolutely disgraceful, right? If you're gonna go and do something like this, at least learn how to tidy up after yourself.
But guess what, people? Winter is no longer coming for these women. Winter is already here.
It's true. It's true. Please join this guy's channel. I'm not here to watch him per se. I'm here to watch
Each
the
other that
little bits
much,
of content.
and
So
they
let's have a
cannot
look.
stand each other most of the time.
Guys, I should have listened to you. You told me to paint my camper camo, and I should have done that.
I should have painted my camper camo. I should have done that. We have squatters' rights. Victim mentality again, straight from the get-go. Imagine being in a position, right, where you can't rely on the fact that you've done right. You can't rely on the fact that you've bought a house or you've bought a pitch. You have to rely on squatters' rights. It says it for itself, right? Self-inflicted.
Because now the farmer's found us, and he's coming down here with his tractor to haul it away. Oh my God, here he comes! I've been here for 3 years. I got squatters' rights.
I've been here on somebody else's land, right, for 3 years, right? You're not owed anything in life, unfortunately. Not being horrible. You've been there for 3 years rent free. If I was him, I'd probably be asking for something for a pitch. And like I've told you, like I've shown you, like I've told you, a lot of these people, they leave the area in complete disarray. If this woman had her finances sorted and saved, you could just go and buy a patch of land and live on it. A small plot. It's not even that expensive, right? If that's what you wanted to do, if you're fine living in a camper van, right, you can just do that, right? And the thing is, what I want you to notice is, I'm not saying she's an old woman, right? I'm not saying she's old, but you can see this woman's coming to middle age, if she's not middle age or going on over, right? So many people are going to end up, and I'm going to keep saying this on this channel, in a homeless when they're old, in a bad situation because they're old, because they don't have an understanding of finance, even the most basic understanding, and they come with this victim mentality. I guarantee you, if she carries on the way she's going on, she's not going to retire, right? She's not going to have nowhere to stay. She's not going to have nowhere to live. Imagine being 70 and homeless. I just seen a video the other day where a guy, he passed away, bless him, outside, 69 years old, living in a tent, froze to death
You can't just come down here like this.
on his own. He can't just come down here on his own property like you did. Like this, like what? There's a cry shot. Let's see you crying. Come on. Here we are.
So that's it. We're homeless.
You were homeless before. You know, this is what I mean. There's no sort of accountability. There's no like, right, I was homeless before and he's took this, so I'm gonna find somewhere else. Like now we're homeless. Like you were homeless and you came and lived on some dude's property, on a farmer's land that he uses to obviously make produce. And who knows what sort of damage you're doing to the area, what sort of damage you're doing to the ground or the soil, anything. Right? But you have no thought for that. It's just all about how everybody should accommodate your circumstances and your situation, even though you're the person that didn't take any sort of financial accountability.
I have lived here for 3 years.
Rent free.
He can't do this to me. I have squatters' rights now.
Do you see what I mean?
He can't.
Think about it. Squatters' rights on land. You're not even in a building. I have squatters' rights on land.
He can't. That's my home.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And winter is coming, so how do I keep myself warm during the winter? First thing is that I have a negative 20-degree sleeping bag, which keeps me warm even on some.
I mean, this is what I mean when I say they're making it out like it's a positive. I mean, look at her face there. Like it's a positive, good thing to be sleeping in your car, right? It isn't. I'm saying if you're in that situation, you have to be. Because I was there, right? If you're in this situation, you have to be. Fair enough, right? And yeah, great outside door sleeping bags. Proper outdoor sleeping bags are a great way to stay warm, right? But in regards to like, I would never be trying to promote it like this.
Of the coldest nights. And this makes it so I can run my heat a little bit longer without having to spend an enormous amount of money. That being said, I do not run my heat all night. I think there's probably been 2 nights total that I have accidentally ran my heat all night just because I fell asleep with it running. I just run my heat for like 20 minutes before I go to bed so I'm able to fall asleep. And then my sleeping bag does a pretty good job of keeping me warm through the night. Although when I wake up, it is really cold.
It's horrible. Listen, I don't know how these people do it. I used to hate waking up in the car in the morning, especially if it was icy outside, because you wake up. It's nice to kind of see all the ice and everything, but over the night, it is freezing. The first thing you do is just putting the engine on and trying to get warm. But the mentality I used to have would put me in this situation, and I don't know if you heard what she said. A lot of people have this sort of mentality. It's how low can you go, right? Which is always going to starve you. It's like, oh, I don't leave my, I mean, no disrespect to her or anything, but I don't leave my heating on all night, right? Because it costs, or so it don't cost the bomb, right? So all the time people are thinking of, how can I trim down? How can I trim down? How can I trim down? You can't keep trimming down because there has to be some sort of limit you get to. Let's say you're eating, right? I'm going to trim down from 3 meals to 2 meals. I'm going to trim down from 2 meals to 1 meal. I'm going to trim down from 1 meal to half a meal. You can't really get any lower than that. So then once your finances, if they're being constrained there, what else are you going to do? People always look at cutting instead of making more, right? And that's why I love investing, because I was always trying to take my own money and make more out of it, right? And that's the mentality I had, which got me out of the situation. Always trying to figure out a way you can have less, right? Is I was going to say lazy, but technically not. You're just putting your energy in the wrong place. Right now, if you're working out how you can have less so you can use this extra money to invest so you can have more in the future, great. But if you're just thinking, okay, I'm going to lower my standard of living so I can live, having less isn't always going to be a good idea, because if that's the strategy you have, inflation is going to keep happening, which is going to keep pumping the prices up. So like I say, what you're just going to keep having less and less and less and less and less and less and less until you have nothing.
And then I have to push through that to turn on my car, because with my car, in order to turn it on, I have to be pressing the brake button. But then it warms up pretty quickly and I am good to go. There are definitely probably better options when it comes to keeping my car warm at night, so if you guys have any ideas, definitely let me know.
I wouldn't even want to get married.
Right. I can already kind of see. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but when I see all of these piercings, right, that you have to pay for, right? You have to pay for. It shows. Whenever I see people like this, right, I'm just gonna say how it is. Victims, straight victim mentality. Why did life happen to me? I'm a black young Gen Z person that couldn't get away because the white man did this and then you just didn't take any sort of accountability, and now you're living in the woods a long time with all your piercings. We're gonna hear it. Watch.
If
Never
it
watch this
wasn't
video.
for the Twilight soundtrack,
Tears.
I will give you what I am, who you are. Like, first of all,
Shaking my head.
Yeah. I completely see why he's shaking his head, because that is absolutely. We're gonna be underwater. We're gonna mute this. That is absolutely ridiculous.
At the whole mess she created on her face. Now,
This is what I mean. Like, the problem is, like, when I look at people like this, yeah, you have really. In fact, let's go back and let's have a look at her face, because he's got a good point, right? People like this, right? When you're looking at people like this, they are making their lives harder for themselves, right? Even though I don't think getting a job is the be all and end all, right? If all you can do is get a job to make your financial situation better, then that's what you're going to have to do. You can't really walk into a employer's office or a meeting with all this in your face and think they're going to look at you and be like, this person looks like a great candidate. In fact, I might even use that picture for the screenshot. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, to have that many piercings and be so unaware financially that you're thinking to yourself, I want to get all this in my face. And I'm not even thinking about maybe having to get a job, maybe having to apply for a mortgage, maybe go to, do anything financial. Because if she turned up looking like that, right, to work for me, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's ridiculous. Like, why would you even have all that in your face?
which is
Move
why
on.
she's currently living in a tent.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away.
Keep telling you, there's so much of this stuff happening. The sound is deafening at some times because you made some bad financial choices.
Still wrong, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray. As you fade away, as you fade away. I know you told your friend you're
I mean,
not
you're dry.
okay. Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay.
I mean, this is the thing, like, you're upset because it's raining. You got yourself in this situation. One thing I don't understand, right, is how not only are you bad financially, because finances isn't just about money, right? It's about relationships. And what I want you to understand is, what sort of people do you think these women are like, right? For them to not have anybody to turn to and have to go and sleep in a tent in the woods and be terrified on your own, right? If I lost my house right now, right, I've burned a few bridges in my time, but there's still places and people I can go to. I can go and see. I can go and get help from. What have you done if you are in a situation where nobody will help you? It says something about not only your financial position, it says something about your character. And it's important to have a good character so you don't end up in this situation so people actually want to help you.
Strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I know you too long. Hurt
Go
until
managing these seasonal hurricanes in a wall tent take diligence and patience. It's a rain. It's a shower, rainstorm. That's all it is. It's just raining. It's not even a hurricane. It's just raining. That's just usual British weather, right? And this is what I mean by the victimness. Managing these seasonal hurricanes in a wall tent takes diligence and patience. No, saving and investing take diligence and patience. This, right, managing these seasonal hurricanes in a wall tent takes you to be financially negligent, right? So you end up in this situation in the first place, not save, not have any patience in investing, not have any patience, because you put money in the market. You're like, oh, I'm going to wait 2, 3, 4 years for it to mature, so I can take it out and actually do something. Diligence, right? You wasn't diligent in your financial situation at all. If you was diligent, you'd be understanding. Okay, I need to earn this, to pay this, and save this to make sure I'm not living in a bell tent when it's raining. But again, this self victim and self delusion, this is where it leads to.
I look away. But I know you too
I'm
long.
not trying to be
Hurt
horrible here.
too hard.
Question. So, how much did the entire setup run you, if you don't mind me asking?
Here we go. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Let's listen.
I don't mind at all. Let's talk about it. So this particular bell tent on stouttent.com runs about $1,400.
Where? Right.
My wood stove, which is not installed yet for this season, we'll be installing it soon. There's the stove jack for it, though. That's where the chimney goes through. That whole thing is about $400 for the stove, the pipe, the flashing kit, and all that. My water tank, which is over here, that was $110. Holds 275 gallons of water, and to have that much water delivered costs me $54 for the delivery. So this land itself is $2,200 for the year for 12 months. Those are the main things, but then there's other
I mean, that's pretty bad, if I'm being honest. You could probably, I mean, if you look at it, yearly lease, $2,000. Bell tent, 1,400. What's that? 600, right? I mean, 3,600, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's say like 4 grand, right? For the year. If you was okay with somebody you could probably pay them 4 grand to live in their house, like to stay on their couch or something, or to stay. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't like people are willing to help you if you haven't burned your bridges and it doesn't cost much and they help you at a discount. Like I've got a friend right now who's staying with somebody who I know, a family member, and they give them £200 a month, right? And the family member is grateful because they do other things. They help with the way they cook, they clean, and it takes financial pressure off the family member, right? So to be saying you're spending all this money and she's not even got into other things yet to live outside in a tent, it just shows that financially her education's poor when she's not there.
miscellaneous things, like I do have two 20-pound tanks of propane that I keep filled regularly. This is also a buddy heater that I use.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got propane tanks, she's leaving that out of it, so that's expensive in itself just to constantly keep filling them. You have to think that's like something you're going to have to keep doing. You're going to have to cook every single day. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, her leaving that out again, it just shows how poor the financial
super
education is.
cold days, just as supplemental heat. along with my wood stove. So the grand total for everything is $4,110. I did not include the water delivery fee in there just because that's a recurring charge. So to get the tent...
That doesn't make no sense. I didn't include the water in there because that's a reoccurring charge. Because it's a reoccurring charge is a reason why you should be adding it in there. Do you get that? I don't think that needs explaining anymore. But like, in fact, maybe just because their education is poor. Because it's going to be something that you have to keep paying, you have to factor it in your monthly expenses. And then you would just times that by 12, and then you've got your yearly amount.
The wood stove, like a water tank, to pay for land, all of that is just over $4,000. And then, yeah, there's going to be recurring expenses like, in my case, water delivery, also getting my propane tanks refilled when I need them refilled. So yeah, I hope that helps answer your question.
Wow, that's an eye opener. So she's
That's
spending
it,
way over $4,000 every year just to live in a tent. That's about $342 every month. It is not that cheap. It's cheaper than rent, but it's not cheap either.
That's what I was saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. And it doesn't make any sense to be paying that. And this is why I say I think these people have literally shut up all of their relationships. They've ruined them, because to be paying that amount to live in a tent per year when you could be paying that same amount to stay with somebody, right, a friend or someone in a better situation. And I don't know if this is the woman that was like showering outside, right? But you know, to have a shower on the inside. I mean, this guy sounded like he was going to say very similar to what I'm saying. And like I say, the age of these women. Cause look, you see the age of that one that we're going to go to now, like the age of these women. But yeah, keep your relationships
Winter
intact.
is no longer coming for these women. Winter is already here.
It is.
Hey, for y'all that don't know me, I just took my hair down, right? I live outside. This is my tent. This is my little shower. So I'm gonna wash my hair. I'm gonna show you guys, like, you know, what a person has to, you know, what they have to do when they have to do it. So, you know, what a person has to, you know, what they have to do when they have to do it. So.
Again, victim, what they have to do when they have to do it. You didn't have to do this. You know, you didn't have to put yourself in this situation. If you keep putting away a portion of your wage, like I say, I live off a rule of if I can't buy three, I don't buy one, right? But for me, I love investing. I love saving. Like, I don't feel as much anxiety as I did before because I'm saving, because there's money there. If anything happens, I can go and just take my little bit of finance that I need to do and go do what I'm doing. Right? This is sad. This is sad. Filming yourself washing your hair, you just got a vertical bag. This isn't even. It's like you're smiling like it's a joke. This is what I mean, like your finances. This isn't a joke. Look how old this woman is. She's not young. This is sad. Really sad. And I have to say, I do think this is because...
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning? I am tired AF. Also, I'm up at the house feeding all of my animals right now. I just overfilled the horse's water tub. I do that all the time. I turn on the water and I forget about it. It's all right. It's not as bad.
There you are. So she does it all the time. So we know we're dealing with somebody that doesn't learn from their mistakes.
As some other times. Anyways, oh my God. The coyotes kept me up all night long. Like, they don't bother me, but they're loud AF, okay? They're so loud. And just as they would like quit and I would drift back off to sleep, they would start right back up again, and it was just like we just repeated this process all night long. So, needless to say, stop eating cat poop. Get out of there.
What was I saying? So yeah, needless to say, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted this morning, but hey,
What?
happy Saturday, guys. I hope you all have a fabulous day.
Now, I want to end this video by giving a big
Yeah. Victim mentality again. And again, you've seen somebody that doesn't learn from their mistakes, didn't learn from a financial mistake, just stayed on that farmer's property free, and then went to paying that 2,200 a year to stay on land when you could probably buy a very, very, very tiny patch of land for not much more than that. Right? Financial education in today's society is so poor, right, that you really need to be careful. You really need to be careful where you're going to end up, because all these people are just relying on the government to help them and to save them, and think, oh, in 20 years' time or 30, 40 years' time when I retire, I'm just going to be able to use my pension or my social security or whatever it is. And it's not even going to be there. It's not even going to be there. All right. I am basically the person who takes kind of the head of the finances in my household. Right. And when I sit down and have these conversations with people, financial conversations, by the end of it, they really like understanding, like, wow, I need to really take my finances into, be serious about them. Because when I am old, what if you need to pay for somebody to look after you? Is the money going to be there? And even if you do, even if there's other free ways to find that, like for example, let me give you an example, right? Personal example. I know a man, right, that had $1 million, right? And this is God's honest truth. And $1 million, right? He was old and he fell into bad health, so he left his finances to his daughters, right? None of his daughters were financially educated. No one of them financially thick as anything, dumb as anything, right? So what they could have done, because he lived for quite a while, they could have transferred all of his money, right, over to them, right, and they could have avoided inheritance tax, which was, I think it was 25%, and they could have avoided getting home charges, because what happened was this guy got so old that he couldn't look after himself, and then he needed to go into a home. But what happens is when you go into a home, right, over in England, they sell all of your assets to pay for the home. There's people in there that are going to be having it for free. There's other people in there that worked all their lives, and when it comes to the end of their lives, they charge you, so the government retake everything you've worked for, right? So to look after you at the end. Now, what he could have done and what they could have done if it was more financially smart, he could have just gave them the money. Had an account with one of his daughters he trusted. You take my money. It's in your name now. You look after it, right? Until I need it. You know, because they were like that. There were daughters he could have done that with, and they could have kept that whole $1 million, and you could have let him looked after in the house, in the home, for free. And when it came down to inheritance tax, if they'd gave it 7 years before, there would have been no tax to pay. But now none of them have anything. He's gone. They've got nothing to really remember him by, because none of them are financially educated and just walk through life like thinking, oh, you know, it is what it is. Whatever happens is whatever happens. And this is why people get in this situation. It's really sad. But yeah, go over and have a look at his channel. It's go back, I think it's the Financial Coffee channel. Yeah, the Financial Coffee channel. I'm subscribed to this channel, quite like it, to be fair. So yeah, this is TDM, the Dystopian Man. Please like and subscribe and like. Like I say, get your ledger link in the description. You can donate to the channel using Bitcoin, Cardano and Ethereum, to the links in the description. And peace.